Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got a hot and saucy topic to talk about today, so sit down on those luxury chairs, relax and enjoy. I'm sure you guys are aware of the recent making of Resident Evil 7 videos. They basically go over the foundation structure, development, where they sent the developers, all the details behind the core creation of the game. In the most recent episode, we get a glance of what's going to be the next Resident Evil game. So we don't get any screenshots or anything, that's far too much to ask for already. But we do get some information based upon what the next Resident Evil game's going to be. And there's a lot to discuss here, to be honest, even with such little information, because a lot of people already hypothesize this is what's going to happen. And I'll get into all these details anyway. If anyone's confused, it'll sound a lot easier soon. So let's get into the first part here. They say they've already got various plans for the next game. We don't know what the next game is going to be. A lot of people would automatically jump to the conclusion that it's going to be Resident Evil 8, but it could be something else in the Revelation series or something. I saw some people were commenting that maybe it was Remake 2, but that doesn't really make sense if you look at the statements later on, which I'll explain when we get to those. But yeah, it does look like it could be any number of Resident Evil titles. Because of the lack of information, we can't really make a precise conclusion on what game it's going to be. We just know that they have plans for the next Resident Evil game. So this goes into part 2, which is going to be how different is this game going to be compared to Resident Evil 7? How many of the core elements from Resident Evil 7 are they going to throw in? You know, is it going to follow the same formula? Now, a lot of people were looking at Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, and then the game completely rebooted in Resident Evil 4 to 6. Now, if you look at the first 3 titles, you had a fixed camera perspective that was on the walls, almost like a CCTV camera, and in 4 to 6, we had the third-person view with the tank controls. Now it looks like Resident Evil 7 changed it up once again, and it looks like Capcom does this every 3 titles and it's going to be first person. So a lot of people theorized, which was quite logical, that Resident Evil 7 to 9 will be completely in first person if you look at the history of the franchise, but I don't think that is the case. As I said, if you look at this next statement, it looks like the next Resident Evil game is going to be vastly different. Now, you could take this statement in 2 ways actually. First off, you could say the next Resident Evil game might not be first person or following a similar formula because it's one of the side games and they changed that up a lot. And maybe Resident Evil 8 and 9 will continue on with the first person view. But you could also say this is going to be Resident Evil 8 and that the formula is completely changing once again because they weren't particularly happy with the entire elements they threw into Resident Evil 7. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this below. Do you actually look forward to the fact that Resident Evil is going to be changing the formula once again, or would you have rather have kept the formula in Resident Evil 7 and continued that onto the next games? Like I said, we don't really know what is changing, but based on the vagueness, when companies usually do this, it means a lot is going to change. Everything is going back to the drawing board. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always though guys, I'll link to the source material for this in the description, the making of Resident Evil video, so go check that out if you haven't. That's a pretty cool series and it's enjoyable to watch. Anyway guys, take it easy for now, have a beautiful day as always, and peace.